Wow. Okay. I mean, this thing is. um, I've not heard an amp with this level of harmonics and detail in a while. It's amazing. It's so cool. It's the Gibson 79 RTV, the one I've been threatening to show you for a while. The customer's brought it in for just a check over. Says one channel appears to be quieter than the other, but I certainly can't hear it. I've measured it. They're the same. It's just an incredible amplifier. So I'll give you a walk around and whatnot. But I've just been messing around, having a good play with it, trying to get this thing to make noises. And yeah, it's exceptional. It's got such good everything, absolutely everything. Being that it's a V front as well, you get such a sound spread throughout the room. It certainly spreads that sound, feels louder and more present than a straight fronted design. But yeah, really, really cool. I am very impressed, and it's you can run it in mono or stereo split, so you can run each side separately. And here's something that's really cool. So I've got the tremolo and reverb on at the moment. If I turn the trem off, which is that one, you can hear. So I've got some reverb on. If I turn the channel volume completely off, you can just get the wet reverb signal controlled with its own volume. So that's just the wet sound. And then you bring in the dry signal. You could just hear it every note you play, the harmonic behind it just wants to come out. This thing's incredible. So yeah, I'm mega impressed. But I can't fault it at the moment, so I'm not really sure what needs to be done to it other than a check over and an idiot checks, really. Anyway, let's get the back off, have a look inside. Here you go then. So like the Gretsch, it's got the power chassis in the bottom of the cabinet, and then it's got an umbilical cord running up to the top. But we're only going to take the top panel off, have a look inside, and show you what's going on. Two 10-inch Jensens in the back, again. Actually no, because the Gretsch has got the 12 inches, isn't it? Yeah. Let's get these off. So it is a 2-channel amp, but it's also got an accordion input. So there are 5 input holes along the front. Sorry, on the top. Each channel has dedicated volume control. It's got the treble and bass controls on these pots at the top. I don't know if you can see that yet, maybe. It's got a control for the tremolo, speed and depth, or they call it frequency and depth. We've got the stereo mono switch up here. And the reverb control. Da-da! Let's get you in, shall we? Have a good look at what's going on. So, you will see it has a quad of EL84s, but each pair is in push-pull for each half, because it's a stereo amplifier, so there's 2 output stages. So it's got 2 output transformers, each feeding 1 speaker, but you can, again, run this in mono, so both sides running at the same time, or you can do it in stereo, and therefore you get and that's how they're splitting the channels and things. So really, really cool and interesting. Looks like it's got the original Mallory filter caps in here, although these wires do look like replacements. So I wonder if someone's been in here before and done something. I'm not overly keen on that soldering job right there. Can you see it? Yeah. Very interesting. And here is our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 preamp valves. Oh look, all of the sockets are shock mounted. Hold on. You see? All shock mounted on these little rubber. So we're in here, looking at the wrong one. You see that? Let me get that out of the way for you. You can give her a wobble. Very cool. So yeah, that's the inside of the Gibson. Now, oh yeah, look, there's this reverb tank standing vertically in the middle. So I'm having a look through this. I don't see anything burnt or damaged. I do need to take some voltage measurements and things. Oh look, it's got a replacement cap over there. So it has had work done before. Okay, fine. I'm sure we need to check the state of the capacitors in the power chassis at the bottom, because there will be electrolytics in there, so we need to double check those. Assume that's going to be a choke. And yeah, just go through it, make sure it's just got a clean bill of health. But as I said, the customer complained that one channel felt quieter than the other. It neither measures low nor does it sound low. So I've yet to find any issues with this amplifier, issues with its sonic performance. The speakers themselves are starting to get a little bit tired and rattly, but nowhere near the point where you'd be looking at a recone. You just have to be sensible with how much power you're putting through them. But yeah, apart from that, it's all pretty good. Yeah, there you go. I thought I'd show you the inside. I'll show you the top panel, because I did walk you through it, but I don't think you can see. So here's the 5 inputs. So you've got channel 1 at the top, the 2 here, channel 2 below here, accordion input in the middle. You've got your 2 volumes here, 1 for each channel. You've got your tone stacks here. So you've got the treble, which is the inner pot, and your bass, which is the outer pot, 1 for each channel. Here's your tremolo control, frequency and depth. They do spin separately to each other. Here's your mono stereo switch. You've got a stereo input for a phono, so you could run something through this in stereo, which is cool. Here's your reverb control, and again, as I demonstrated to you, that runs separate to well, the feed for the reverb circuit must be before the volume controls, because you can control that separately. So because these don't affect the reverb. Very cool. You've got a polarity switch, which we don't need because this thing does have now a 3-prong conversion, and you're on, off, and fuse. Pretty simple, pretty cool. I love the sound of this thing. It's so good. But I'm going to give the customer a call, tell him the good news. Yeah, I can't really find any faults, I should say. That's a better way of putting it, isn't it? All seems to be okay. I'll do the basic stuff like check the bias and go through it. But yeah, very nice. Here's the foot switch, by the way. The original foot switch for the amp. I do love that font. If anyone knows what that font is, let me know. Yeah, but there you go. Very cool. Very, very cool indeed. I will, as I said, I will pull the power chassis out and have a just check inside, make sure there's nothing going on in there. If I find anything interesting, I will of course let you guys know. But if not, yeah, there you go. Right, okay, so where am I on this one then? Not far from the previous video so far, but little bits of progress. So new 350k tapped treble pot is installed. I'll show you what they look like because if you've never seen one before, it's quite interesting. These are unique to the brown and blonde panel amps of the early 60s, and they've got this fourth lug, which is a 70% tap halfway round, and that's what then connects to your the bass pot in the tone stack. Lug 3 that would normally go off that way actually connects to ground via a capacitor. So it's yeah, it's quite an interesting arrangement. So all I got left now. So I'm going to have to order some more at some point because I do go through them. Anyway, so that's it. So I can get all that wired up. So just a reminder, the left channel, when you're looking from the front, the old bass channel is becoming 6G6C guitar channel. And then the second channel here, the right-hand channel, is becoming AA864 black panel guitar channel. So we're going to have two different guitar channels, one blonde, one brown. I've already made up the board. I've removed the old board from the chassis. I've used the underboard as my template for drilling the mounting holes onto the new board, which you can see I've transferred over. I've still got to drill a couple more holes on this, but that now goes in and goes on. And it's going to sit in there like that. So yeah, we're coming on nicely. I've still got some cleaning to do. I've still got some other bits and pieces, sockets to swap out. Whilst I'm doing all this job, you may as well go ahead and improve the grounding scheme. Since you've got everything out anyway, why not? So, and also this amp would benefit from having a HT fuse. So I've got two options really. I can either put one in the old ground hole here on the back. Can you see? You can, yeah. So might put a HT fuse in there, or my preference would be a separate holder here inside the chassis. But we'll see. Depends what I come up with. So yeah, I'm just coming along. Just need to got to remove some other wires. We're not using V2 at all, so that's actually coming out of circuit, although the socket is going to remain in place. So we haven't got a gaping hole in the chassis, so we can get rid of those two wires. But yeah, most of these old wires will hook up to where they used to be. Just got to run some more wires and that things, and if I can reuse some of the old wire, I will do. So yeah, coming along as intended. Quite happy with it. What else have I got to do? I've just gone blank, gone completely blank. Can't remember. if I can remember, I'll come back to you. Got another of the 1 watt 1-800 heads up and running on the bench, doing its usual thing. Very pleased with it. It's running great. Yeah, churning quite a few of these out now. But as always, waiting on cabinets. Just prepping my next batch of boards. So this is FR4, the stuff that I use. I've shown it to you on the channel before. FR4 stands for flame resistant number 4. It's a nice sturdy material, as you can see, and it's much better for making boards from, rather than, you know, the old stuff that Fender used to use, the really flexible stuff that warps, that takes on moisture. You should not be building amplifiers with this material. I mean, you can do it for yourself, but you shouldn't be selling them to customers. So I use FR4. I buy it in 500mm lengths, 50 centimeters, half a meter. They actually come to me, I think it's by, well, they come to me like this, and then I have to trim them down because I always use 2.5 inch wide pieces, so I have to take off It's probably 1/2 inch, isn't it? So probably 3 inches or something like that. So I trim them all down to size, and then I can use them. I can just chop them in this direction for whatever size board I need. So today I've got to do 2 PR boards, 1 6 and 1 18, and then I've got to do 3 Ainsley Lister signatures. So now regular followers of the channel will know that I messed up the last template board that I made for PRs. I enlarged this hole here, should be 3.2mm, and I enlarged it to 6mm because I'm an idiot. So I'm not going to use that. I'm no longer going to use that as either a template board, nor am I going to build a custom amp from it. I'm actually going to use that to build a PR6 demo amp, because I haven't got a 6-watt demo. So that's what that's going to be for. That's for my own stuff. But what I use is I make up these template boards that I use, and then I can use those as a drilling template for each amp that I use. So Plexi 18 there. What we've got there: Blackhawk, Dexter, Americana, and the latest Ainsley Lister signature variant. So I've got to do 3 of those. Now, I've already got a template board for this. I'm going to cut all these down to size, and then I'm going to drill all 3 at the same time. So I'm going to stack them up and just go all the way through like that. And I know that this board is correct. So I'm not going to be duplicating any mistakes or errors, as is often the case when you do things in batch. But these 2 are for PRs. So we got a PR6 and a PR18 that both black panel, that are going off to Coda Music here in the UK. So if you end up with one of these amps, this is the genesis of them. So I need to, I've printed out my layout that I'll then stick on, and then I can draw both at the same time because they use the same layout. It's just different values on each. So it's quite easy, really. So I need to get these marked out and done. So the Ainsley Lister signatures. I want to say 14.5 inches wide. Yeah, 14.5 inches. So I'm just going to cut all these down on the miter saw. So I've got my 3 times 14.5 inch boards, and then I can stick that on top, tape it all together, and then drill those out. And then I'm going to do the same for the PRs. Right, all cut down. So these offcuts I often will then chop down further to make things like bias boards and rectifier boards for Fender style builds, things like that. Or even I've used them for pedals, or if there's enough of them, you can even squeeze like 5E3s, 5C3s, stuff like that. I've got so many offcuts, it's actually comical. So that's the 3 AL SIGs. The dust gets everywhere. If you ever cut FR4, you'll recognise the smell. It's not a bad smell, it's just very unique. It's, yeah. Anyway, so they're all now the same length, give or take. Right, so they're not moving now, they're firmly in place. So they're not going to slide relative to each other when you're drilling through. Attach the top one, and then we'll get drilling. Should we get into this then? Quite obviously, it's a Watkins copycat. Now, this could either be a Mark III or a Mark IV. Not sure yet. We know it's a Mark III or a Mark IV because it says solid state. The Mark Is and Mark IIs were both valve units. So this one has been in the queue for a while now. Customer says it works fine, but the motor itself is quite noisy. So he thinks it just needs a good mechanical service, which is what we're going to give it. Nice unit. It's got the original foot switch with it. The logo badge is with it, but it has unfortunately come off, so we'll get that stuck back down. No issues whatsoever. Most of you will know what a Watkins copycat. It's a tape echo delay unit, and yeah, you can see the tape on it. Not really much more to it than that. So once I get inside it and I work out whether it's a Mark III or Mark IV, we can get the right schematic. They are available online. But I think what we'll do first is power it up and have a listen to this motor, see if we can work out why it is noisy, or at least listen to the noise and make a determination from there. So we'll plug it in. Right, sorry, the phone rang. So I've got it set up here on the bench. I've got a microphone here placed at the back, which is hopefully close enough to the motor that it's going to pick up any noise that this thing may or may not make. Let's turn it on and have a listen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to boost the audio for this section. I'm going to keep quiet. So it won't be this loud in real life, but it is going to be boosted so you guys at home can get a clear indication of what kind of noise this thing is making. Okay? Right, here we go. Okay, don't know about you, but sounds fine to me. There's no squealing going on, but we have discovered some other issues. Firstly, the tape itself is running very slow, and then occasionally it grabs and speeds up. So you need to double check all of those mechanisms, work out what's going on there. I have also spotted, if I turn it off, if I carefully remove the tape, I wonder if it's a tension thing. Because you can see there's some marking here underneath where this usually sits. So yeah, something going on there. Maybe that's an indicator of something, and I'll tell you what, that's quite concerning. This wheel here isn't spinning super freely, but freer than this one, which is really, really stiff to turn. That might be the issue that we're having then. So we need to pull that arm off, check that bearing, re-grease it as required. Maybe that's the bearing grease that's come out of it, and that's why we've got that slow tape movement there. Let's check the heads. Okay, so make sure they get a good clean up. Let me just unplug it, and then we'll remove the case screws, and we'll have a look. So if I remember correctly, it is these two at the side. Sorry. One case screw, two case screw. We used to get quite a few of these through the shop, but I haven't seen them in a long time. Or haven't had one in for a long time. And there we go. It's mightily clean. It's mightily clean, isn't it? Come around, have a look. As always, visual inspection, we're just looking for anything out of the ordinary. So that would be leaking capacitors, physically leaking, burnt or discoloured resistors, fluids where they shouldn't be, stuff like that, switch mechanism, tarnished or dirty contacts on switches, stuff like that. Come around here, we've got, oh, you're upside down now. Some caps on the back side of the board. Does it look like we've had repair work before? Maybe not. The two big electrolytics here, let's get you squared up on those. 1500 microfarad, can we see? Can we get you in? 1500 microfarad at 63 volts. Red terminal positive, plain is negative, and I assume that this one will be the same as well. This is the underside of the tensioning arm, and this is the return spring. Need to make sure that that's not broken. That looks good, and this is pivoting well. Again, we'll just make sure that this is all greased up properly. But there's the underside of this wheel here. It's very stiff to turn. It should, as far as I remember, it should be free turning. I'll look up the service manual to see if they give a spec for it, but I seem to remember you should be able to do it with your, flick it and it spins like a skateboard wheel. But there you go. Very interesting. Apart from that, nice clean unit, isn't it? Very nice. So we'll give it a good service going through, check all the voltages. But there you go. Yeah, inside of a Watkins copycat solid state unit. I am, unfortunately, a bit of a forgetful sod. I want to show you something. I think I've shown this on the channel before, but it's been a while because the guitar has been away, and I'll show you why. But this is my Haynes Inflection. So Neil Haynes, fabulous guitar maker here in the UK, makes loads of different styles of guitars. This is the S type that he does, called the Inflection model, and my particular one in gorgeous surf green has two Firebird pickups in it because I love Firebird pickups. Big fan of P90s and Firebird pickups. I think it's something to do with the magnet size or magnet field size. But anyway, I just love these pickups. So I had Neil make this for me a couple of years back, and I went back to him because he doesn't usually do side neck dots or dots on the side of the neck, and unfortunately I always need them. So it went back to him to have some dots done, and I completely forgot about the guitar. That's really bad, isn't it? And it's been up at his ever since, but as he's moving workshops, it needed to come back, so I went up this morning to go pick it up and have a good chat with him, see how he's getting on. Yeah, this is my Haynes Inflection standard S-style guitar, really. Where this is, I think it's a is it a one-piece neck? I can't remember now. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Can't remember. No, there is a board on there. No skunk stripe. Hard tail strap, which I really like. Big fan of mine. You can see the lacquers is checking and doing all sorts of naturally wonderful aging bits and pieces. But yeah, that's the guitar. So hardtail, S-type, 2 fibre pickups, master volume, and then it's got a tone for each. That's the way I wired it, on a 3-way switch. Yeah, really cool guitar. I have shown, as I said, I've shown this off before, but it's been away for a while. But I went to pick up this morning. This is one of those guitars, and you'll come across this a lot actually, I think. Some guitars that you discover in your playing career don't like being in E standard. And we know that, especially with some Strats, that you tune them down to E flat, and they just come alive. It just seems everything comes together on them. It was like they were slightly out of focus. You set it up in E flat, and the guitar just comes alive, and that's naturally where it wants to be. Maybe it's something to do with the resonant frequency of the body and the neck combined. It just, everything seems to work closer to E flat. Now, this is a strange guitar, because this one actually prefers being tuned up half a step to F. So this one is tuned F to F, not E to E. It's just one of those bizarre things where with a set of 10s on it, it prefers to be in F. You stick 11s on it, you can tune it in E, but it's not perfect. And 9s don't work either. So with 10s or 10.5s, it just, the sweet spot for it is F to F, which just the way some guitars are. Nothing wrong with that. It's that final tweak, you know, to just get everything in line and resonating where it needs to be. This guitar prefers to be in F. Yeah, as I said, a lot of Strats like to be in E flats, just the way they are. I wonder if it's the hardtail thing. Not sure, but yeah, with 10s on it, this guitar's F. It's very cool. So there you go. But yeah, you just learn to play in F. It's no problem. There you go. Haynes inflection. Right, I pulled the power chassis from the Gibson because I want to do this together. I know how much you enjoy chassis reveals at the same time as I do. So, do we think it's had a recap? Do we think there's any work being done in here? Now, it's had a 3-prong conversion. So, chances are this chassis, not chances are, it definitely has been removed before. But has anything else been done at the same time? What do we think? Here we go. Oh, what the what on earth is that? Hold on. Did I just really see 2 spring atoms flapping in the breeze? Oh my god. Right. Okay. I mean, at least they've been done. At least they've been done. But look. Not shielded or protected, insulated. That's the word I'm looking for. So those ones haven't been, but those ones have, even though they're original. Yeah, right, okay. But there you go, that's the inside of this unit. So I'm going to have to sort that out, because that's borderline comical. No, it is comical. I mean, that's just not... Okay, I'm going to sort it. Is there anything else in here? No, it's all pretty good, all pretty clean. There you go. Well, that's it then, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, as always, please give this video a thumbs up, or your comments and questions down below. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already. If you're feeling super generous and want to join the channel like these guys have, please do so, and I will catch you all at the next one.